Hey guys, Love and Hip Hop Miami episode 7. And by the way, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta comes back this week, January 7th. If you're watching this on TikTok, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube because TikTok will be going January 19th. So we see Trick having this event for him to give back. And then Ray J pops up talking about he's back in Miami. He was losing himself in LA. And him and Princess divorce is going to be finalized soon. People think they're going to get back together, but no, they're not. So funny how just a week or two ago, Princess put out all that leaked information about Ray and Suki Hana, right? And all three of them are from Love and Hip Hop Miami. So I'm starting to think that's a storyline. It might be some truth to it, but like it's to play into the show. So Trick was telling Ray about So Unique, and he was like, I've been dealing with her for years, but I always questioned her motives. And after she met up with Joy, I knew she was a clout chaser. And now she took stuff with me and her to the internet, apparently. So he was like, I'm thinking about never even speaking to her again. So Trick Daddy said he blocked her, and then they showed what So Unique put on Instagram. She said, Trick Daddy got me kicked off Love and Hip Hop because I wouldn't give him no coochie. And Trick basically said he had to respond and defend himself. So he posted some text messages of So Unique talking about, oh, you be so angry. You need some of this good coochie. You know you like the view when I ride it from the back and all kind of stuff. So it's like, girl, you been on me. So how you saying I got you kicked off because you wouldn't give me no coochie? Like, you was throwing the coochie. So Ray J was basically telling him, like, you should sit down and talk to her and squash the beef because y'all taking stuff online and it's too public, basically. And Trick was like, yeah, I'm going to talk to her because at the end of the day, I don't need no ops. But I'm going to definitely let her know that me and her are done. Like, there's no more relationship. Then Ray J talking about he making an anniversary, like, short film for One Wish. I guess it's probably, like, the 20th anniversary. So we see Shay, and she's like laying down getting a massage, and this lady is like putting sage all over her, all around her. And she said that she kicked Fabo out last night and took her daughter to her mom's house so she wouldn't see any of the drama. And then we see Flo coming in, and she was basically saying how Shay told her about everything that was going on, so she wanted to do something nice for her. So basically they're at this like relaxation retreat. And Flo was basically saying how she knows she needs it too after her finding out about Marlon and Amara. So Shay was telling Flo, like, I haven't seen you since your event. I don't know if you saw that Zoe had pulled me to the side. And when she took me outside, she had a pee test. So at first I thought she was pregnant because she looked like it. And Flo was like, don't say that. And Shay was like, I mean, she do. Like, she's big. But then she was like, she said it was her sisters and that she was pregnant by Fabo. But then it all came out to be a lie. She also told Flo about Marcus trying to mediate between them, it not working out, and how her mom knows about everything. And Flo was like, yeah, I'm sure your mom is going to like that. Like, you finally left Fabo. And she was like, yeah, but at the end of the day, I still want my mom to be there for me. Like, she's happy about it, but, like, she's a little too happy. Like, I need her to understand that I'm still grieving the loss of my relationship. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to co-parent with him so that he could still have some type of place in their daughter's life. And, the mom is like, fuck him. Like, and she's like, it's not that simple. So Flo was like, well, let me tell you what's going on with me. I go to my restaurant, and my mom is telling me how some lady came to see Marlon. And when I look on the cameras, it was Amara. So Shay was asking her, like, have you talked to Marlon about it? And Flo was like, no, because he left the house after we had that last argument when she was stepping all over the picture that he tried to bring to make nice with her. And Shay was like, well, Amara would only be talking to Marlon to try to get some type of get back to you anyway. And Flo was saying how, like, she feel like it's really get back because of Gaelle sleeping with Alan. And she was like, when I went and told Gaelle about it, she was laughing and saying I shouldn't even care. And Shay was like, Gaelle is a trip and she really shouldn't have no opinion because she slept with your husband, your ex-girlfriend, and now she's sleeping with Amara baby daddy and laughing at your pain when Amara using you to get back at Gaelle and Alan. Like, nothing is funny about that. Gaelle is mad messy, for real. So Shay put a battery in Flo back, and she was like, it's time for you to check these hoes, and I'm going to have your back, starting from the top with your sister and working all the way down to Amara. So sadly, we find out that Brooke had a miscarriage. And she was just talking to Marcus about how she was feeling and stuff. And Marcus was kind of like, well, for what it's worth, it's not like we said, let's have a baby. Like, basically, like it was a oops baby. Like, they didn't plan it. It just happened. And once it happened, they went with it and they was happy. And Brooke was like, I was shocked about it too, but I was happy. So why wouldn't I want to do it again? And Marcus was like, well, I'm all about intentionality. And I don't want no more kids after everything that I just saw. Basically, you go through at the hospital, I guess. And it does make sense because he basically saying, I value you over having more kids. Because he basically said when they did have their first kid, Shy, Brooke lost like a record amount of blood. So for her to have now another pregnancy and have more complications and have a miscarriage, it's like, no, I don't want to keep trying. I just want to keep you healthy and safe. But then he said one thing that I don't think he should have said. And he was like, I feel like once you got pregnant, all the stuff we was working on went out the window as far as our joint project. And she was kind of looking at him like, are you seriously bringing that up? But he said that he really feel like they started losing momentum in other areas. And he basically was like, sometimes I just feel like you just want to be a mom and a wife. And she was like, what if I do want to be a housewife? Like, would that be an issue? And he said, you think God made you this beautiful, this funny, this talented for you to sit up in the house and play tea parties with Shy? So it don't seem like he would be comfortable with her being a stay-at-home mom. But what if she wants that option? So he basically was like, listen, bottom line, do you want to do the joint project or not? And Brooke was like, I really don't have an answer for you, because after this conversation, it don't really seem like we in the same relationship. And he was like, what makes you think that? And I'm like, you don't see how this conversation sounds like y'all on two totally different pages? But Brooke was like, let's start with the first thing, you saying you don't want no more kids. Like, I guess she's still willing to try to have more kids because she says she's a mom and she really enjoys that, despite the complications that she knows she has during pregnancies. So we finally see Amara, Alan, and the girls meeting up. So he's saying how he's so excited to be back in his girls' lives. And he just wants to, keep it consistent and make sure that him and Amara stay on the same page. And he said he also has a daughter named Layla in Michigan and a daughter named Alana in the DR. And he wants all four of his daughters to be able to meet and come together and, form some type of relationship. So when Alan asked Amara about the twins meeting his other two daughters, she basically said, listen, this is the first time you've seen them in 8 months. So you need to show me some consistency that you're going to be coming to see them like once a month, once every couple of months. And then we can talk about them trying to form a consistent relationship with their sisters, which makes sense because it doesn't make sense for them to be with him once right now, meet their sisters one time, and then never see their sisters again for years. Like, if you're going to do it right. So we see Ray J meeting up with Derek, and he's like, of course I know Angela. She's my good friend, for a long time. They've been in the industry together. But he was like, of course I also know Derek because we're talking about music. And he said, I want to see if there's any energy between us that maybe he could help me with this One Wish anniversary project. Now, Derek is a producer, so I don't know if Ray J is planning to change the beat on One Wish for the anniversary project, because if not, I don't really understand where Derek would come in. So Derek was basically saying how sometimes him and Angela are on separate coasts. They're bi-coastal. Sometimes they travel together and sometimes they're apart. And he was like, right now I'm in Miami by myself, and Angela went back to LA for a little while. And he talking about that song that he had Angela recording last week where he kind of pressured her into saying bitch is almost done. And I'm like, Angela don't even like that song, but whatever. And Ray J was asking him, how's the temptation in Miami, like when Angela's not around? And he basically said, there's nothing that no other girl got that would make me tempted. Like, I'm committed to Angela. She's everything I need. And Ray J was like, so this is the first time you really feel locked in with somebody? And he was like, yeah, I think I found my person. So Ray J basically said Princess kicked him out on his birthday and she wants a divorce this time because a girl in the DM, he was like, a random stranger DM'd her and said that she was sucking me off in the house for 4 hours straight. And Derek was like, hours is crazy. Like, what? And he was telling Derek, oh, I don't want to spook you. You're not spooking nobody, because at the end of the day, as long as somebody don't start their relationship out with the same foundation you did, they'll be all right. It seems like Derek is starting out just fine with China. He's doing everything he's supposed to be doing. You, on the other hand, started your relationship with Princess from what? Basically taking her from Floyd Mayweather. Then she was your girlfriend and Tiara was your side chick, but Tiara was your ex. Then you pushed her in the pool. Then you cheated 10 more times even after you was done with Tiara. And then y'all got married and you wonder why y'all getting divorced every 10 months for the past 10 years. Ray J always be trying to play a victim, and I don't know who he think he be fooling except for Princess. So basically, he said he did a 2024 version of the One Wish. I guess it's the whole album. And he said that he did a remix with Jacquees. He did a remix with Keisha Cole. And he did a remix with Neo. So it sounded like he got some big people that was definitely big back then, too, involved in the project. So I'm starting to see how Amara is going to end up getting slapped by Princess later in the season. Derek seems down to work with Ray J on the project. And he basically said that he also has a Spanish version. And he's thinking about hitting up Princess's friend Amara because she's Spanish and she does music, to be a part of it and also to be in the video. So you already know it's probably going to be given kissy, touchy, feely in the video, and Princess is not going to be feeling that. So Brooke went to meet up with Amara to talk to her about the miscarriage because she says she's feeling a little unsupported by Marcus right now. So Brooke broke down, and you could tell that she's really going through it. I really feel for her. And she was just like, I'm crying at the gas station. I'm crying at the ATM. I'm crying while I'm making my daughter breakfast in front of her. Like, I got to pull it together. And she basically told Amara that Marcus is acting like he's just numb to the whole situation. And that's why she came over to see Amara, because she felt like she needed to escape what she was going through in the house. So then Amara asked, did Shay, Fabo, and Marcus ever meet up? And Brooke was like, yeah. And basically he said that Shay was going off and he liked Fabo, which is crazy because how you like Fabo and Fabo is a cheater. But that makes sense because Marcus used to be a cheater until he finally decided to settle down with Brooke. So Brooke was telling Amara maybe she should talk to Shay, and she was like, absolutely not. But she said, I wanted to talk to you about this because I don't like putting limits on my art. Ray J reached out to me about this If I Had One Wish movie. And she basically said she feel like Ray J sabotaged her and Safari engagement and he was against it and stuff. So she want to go and give him a piece of her mind. So then we see Shay get into her mother's house. And when Shay walks in the house, it's her mom, her brother, her business manager, her daughter, and Mama D. And they basically have a cake and it's like a celebration for her leaving Fabo. Kind of like a divorce party, but they weren't married. So, you know, like a breakup party. Like, you're finally free. But Shay is not in that place yet. Like, she hasn't processed everything enough to feel like she can look at the breakup as a positive thing yet, you know? So Shay threw the cake on the floor and she was like, this is not support. Y'all celebrating and glorifying that me and my child's father are not together. Like, I'm not happy about this. Like I said, she has not processed it. And Mama D was like, well, you need to calm down because I flew all the way from Atlanta. And Shay was like, yeah, to make a joke out of my life and what I'm going through. Then MJ is talking about, I didn't know how to express myself to you, so I made a song and I want to play it specifically for you, Shay. And in his confessional, he said that him and his mom went to the studio and laid this song down a while ago. They both sounded a mess in the clips we saw, but let's see what the actual song sounded like. But like, why did y'all make a song? But the song is called Family Love, and he said it was basically like a plea for them to try to like beg Shay to leave Fabo and come back to the family. But now that she did, he feel like he could play it as a celebration. So he played the song and she was like, this is stupid. So then he had a line in the song where he said something about wasting your time. And she was like, oh, I'm wasting my time. And she grabbed her daughter and left. And her mom was like, you need to listen to the words. You need to listen to the words. And she was like, y'all weird. Y'all got cakes and songs and shit. This family is weird. Okay, so now we see Trick meeting up with So Unique. So he was like, why would you post that on the internet, making it seem like you having sex with me was keeping you on Love and Hip Hop? And she was like, because you was being an asshole, those hurtful words you used, that was my get back, basically. And she was like, I feel like you brought me on this show to play with me. Why you chose me out of all the girls from Dade County to bring on the show as your love interest? And he basically said, I liked you and I wanted to see for myself if you were somebody I could trust. And she was like, and when did I show you that I wasn't? And he said, when you went and met up with Joy. I don't play that. Like, why are you going and looking for mess, basically? So he basically told her, make my name taste like shit in your mouth and just leave me alone. The same way I feel about you is how I want you to feel about me. Like, we don't got to deal with each other no more, but I don't want it to be no beef. And she was like, okay, well, what else do you want from me? And he was like, I want you to leave Miami, move from Miami. And she said, I run Miami. What are you talking about? And he said, you don't run Miami. But it's like Trick and Trina, like, yeah, y'all are the queen and king of Miami, and they still hail y'all as that. But at the end of the day, y'all getting old and washed up. It's going to be a new queen and king of Miami at some point. And there's somebody in their 20s or 30s right now that's making moves to take that spot. You won't have it forever. You're not going to be the queen and king of Miami when you're 60 years old. So she told Trick, nobody's ever going to love you with this attitude that you got, which is basically why Joy said she left him. So he walked away and told her that she was ignorant. She don't know what she's talking about. But it's like, I think Joy and So Unique are right, because it's like, okay, yeah, you got a little bit of money, but you don't look good. And then you got a nasty attitude. Like, I don't think that really works. So she was emotional and she was like, I hope you feel good about trying to break me, but I'm already broken. And I hope you look in the mirror and feel good about hurting me. And he was like, oh, you're a clown. Welcome to the circus. We got lions, tigers, bears, and this bitch. So it looks like now we're at Gaelle's birthday party. And she said Flo is supposed to be performing tonight, but as of now, she's not here. So Alan arrives and he has like flowers and what looks like a cake or a present for Gaelle. And he was like, you know, I'm going back to the DR tomorrow. I didn't get exactly what I wanted from Amara as far as her agreeing to let the other two daughters meet her two daughters. But at least they made a step in the right direction. So him and Gaelle are all over each other, dancing and flirting, being touchy-feely. So we see Flo arriving to the party. She was looking good. And in her confessional, she was like, she is mad at Gaelle for mocking her pain, but her main target is Amara. So she's about to hit back directly. But Amara's not here. So Flo got on stage and basically started flirting with Alan from the stage while she was singing and like telling him to come on the stage. And Gaelle was like, what the hell is going on? But it's like, girl, please, Alan is not even really your man. You literally slept with Flo's husband and that's your sister. So if she want to flirt with this boy toy you got, you can take it. So Alan took himself on the stage and Flo was grinding all up on him. And Gaelle is just like, are y'all serious? And it's like, girl, this is your birthday party. You better stand on business, I guess. But you deserve this. So I don't know why she in her confessional, like, what did I do? So she went on stage, told the DJ to stop the music, told Flo to get out of her party, and was just going off. And she was like, you're my sister and you're doing this to me. And Flo was like, yeah, now you see how it feels. Like, girl, bye. So Alan said, I don't need any more drama in my life. And he got out the way. He said, I'm out. And he walked out the door. Mind you, Flo and Gaelle mom is just sitting there watching this whole thing unfold. Don't even look like she got up out her chair. So Gaelle was like, yeah, F you, Flo. And like they pushed Flo out of the party. But when Flo walked out, Alan was still outside. And he was like, what's going on? And she was like, you know, your baby mom is messing with my baby dad. And Alan was like, oh, really? And she said, I'm tired of my sister and it's time for me to get payback. Matter of fact, Alan, you going home with me tonight. What the fuck? And he was like, you want to take me? What you want to do? And she was like, I'll tell you later. And he was like, okay, you want me to go with you? And she was like, yeah. And he was like, all right. And he walked off with Flo. So I guess we'll find out later what really happened with that. But I'm not going to lie. It's crazy. But if Flo messes with Alan, she's low-key killing two birds with one stone, because she's getting Amara back for messing with Marlon, and she's getting Gaelle back for all the shit she's done to her. Okay, and lastly, we see Amara meeting up with Ray J to talk about this potential movie role, and also for her to confront him about the role she feel he played in the demise of her and Safari's relationship. So she was like, you tried to tell Safari I was sleeping with my baby daddy when I went to the DR, and you was telling him how marriage is trash and it's not worth getting married. Like, why would you try to sabotage my relationship? And he basically said, I feel like Safari needed somebody different and you needed somebody different. And even though he's my bro, I can honestly say I feel like you deserve better. So he was like, you're super talented, you're super sexy. And Amara was like, oh, really? And she had on this dress where it was like a cutout around her bust area. And she kind of adjusted it. And he was like, oh, I never looked at you that way. And she was like, yeah, well, you're still married. But are you going to apologize? So he got down on one knee and was apologizing. And she had her hand out. And he was like kissing her hand. Like, what the fuck is going on? This is why Princess is going to smack you, Amara. Aren't y'all supposed to be friends? So he starts telling her about this One Wish movie role. And he basically wants her to play a stripper. And he's like, I need you to teach me the bachata. So Amara said, okay, well, we could dance right here because they like in a club. But in her confessional, she says she's not into Ray J, but she doesn't mind teaching him to dance, especially if it's just for the role. So they start dancing and she's teaching him. And at the end, he's like holding her very close. And she's like, okay, well, that's a start. And the episode ends there. So next week on episode 8, we see Flo hanging out with Alan again. And she's like, do you think Amara would have a problem with it? And he was like, yeah, she would flip out. And Flo was like, I like that. We see Trick bringing Ching Diamond onto his show, like his cooking show. And from there, it looks like she's going to get introduced to Love and Hip Hop Miami and become a cast member. I'm definitely excited to see her because I loved her on Rhythm and Flow. And I wanted to see her actually go further in the competition. Then we see Trina talking to Swerve and telling him that he needs to call his attorney and deal with this situation with his baby mama ASAP. Then we see Brooke trying to finally bring Shay and Amara back together and mediate, and it doesn't really look like the conversation was going well. Then we see Joy going to Hot Topic and basically telling her Bobby is the one who told us that you leaked Trina's marriage certificate to the internet. And Hot Topic said, I didn't do it, but I don't got to explain myself to you, Trina, or nobody else. And then when Hot Topic sees Bobby at an event, she goes and checks him about it, and he basically was like, like he didn't really know what she was talking about, playing dumb. And she was like, yeah, I'm going to check you, Joy, Trina, and everybody. I don't care if it's Hot Topic versus everybody. Oh, it looks like Amara might be getting slapped next week, because then we see Princess meeting up with Amara and she's like, I've always been a friend to you, but I see that you a fake ass bitch. And Amara was like, okay, well, I guess that makes you a fake ass bitch as well. And then Princess slapped her and it cuts off there. So I will see y'all for episode 8 of Love and Hip Hop Miami. Later, guys. And make sure if you're watching this on TikTok, you subscribe to my YouTube because TikTok will be going January 19th. Bye.